Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Well, the Vols have landed a top 100 wide receiver. We're going to talk about that. Also, the NCAA rules changes. We're going to talk about all these changes that they're possibly going to put into effect this year. But let's start out with the commitment of J.J. Harrell. Now, I was going to do this earlier today. Actually, I even considered doing it yesterday. But first, we got the NCAA with the baseball and the shortstop. And, of course, we also got the NCAA ruling on the 4 assistant coaches for the Vols. So every time I try to do this video, I've been kind of usurped by the NCAA.
I was unavoidably detained.
So now I can finally talk about this big-time commitment, and this is a good one. Now, J.J. Harrell is a 4-star. He's a top 100 wide receiver out of Mississippi, and we're going to get into some of his highlights, show you some of the skills this guy's got. But this was a real good get for the Vols, and this pushes him up in the rankings as well. As you can see in the composite right here, he was 99th in the country. He's got a composite ranking of almost 95. The number 17 wide receiver, number 2 player in the state of Mississippi. And virtually every big-time school wanted this guy. He had Alabama after him, Georgia after. Look, everybody wanted this guy. When you're in the top 100, especially at a wide receiver offensive position, everybody's going to want to try to get your commitment. So this was a real nice little home run for the Vols. Now, this guy kind of reminds me of a Brew McCoy. He's a big dude. He's about 6'2", a little over 200 pounds. You can see you would think he'd be stopped here, but he just keeps running, and they just can't seem to tackle him. He's got real nice speed and a lot of strength, and it's just, he looks like he's playing with a bunch of kids out there. And that's typically what these 4 and 5 stars, especially a high 4-star, is going to make these high school players look like. And like I said, he's having no trouble running by somebody half his size. And, he's just kind of playing with them, I think. Here you'll see him just go here and get into the end zone, find his place, block him off with his body against these 2 guys, and just, he's just too big. Like I said, he reminds me so much of Brew McCoy, it's ridiculous. And it appears the big thing that he had going for him was the relationship with Coach Pope, who is the wide receivers coach, and he really likes Coach Heupel. And like I say, I think this was a relationship type commitment where he felt very comfortable with the coaches and the Tennessee team. Now, obviously, he realizes that Coach Heupel's offense is going to fit him really well, the #1 offense in the country, and he mentioned that in his interview, and also that he thinks having Nico as the quarterback is a huge benefit. And that's one of the great things about having Nico already on the team is that not only did he help the 2023 recruiting, he's going to help 2024 and 2025. Now, granted, he's not going to help you when it comes to getting another quarterback, which we're going to need for 2024, but he's going to help on every other category because every wide receiver wants the #1 quarterback to throw the ball to him. Because, look, you can't do anything as a wide receiver if you don't have a good quarterback. It's just the way that it is. And so having Nico really helps. And this moves Tennessee into the top 10 for recruiting in 2024 with Jonathan Eccles, J.J. Harrell, he's now the #2 highest rated one. Caleb Beasley, who's a very nice pickup for the Vols. Marcus Gorey, I see him moving up over time. Everybody wanted this young man. And then Carson Gentle. And the thing that I'm seeing that's different about this year's recruiting, if you'll remember last year, we had a lot of 3-stars right off the bat because we were coming off a 7-win season. Now we're coming off an 11-win season and winning the Orange Bowl, and now we've already got 4 4-stars. And Eccles at one point was a 5-star. So this is a real nice pickup, and we're getting off to an excellent start for 2024. And I think having that 11-win season is definitely playing a role in that and having the #1 quarterback in the country in last year's class. But now let's talk about what the NCAA, the changes they want to make for college football that will shorten the game, which is basically what they're trying to do. And really, every sport is trying to speed up their sport and shorten it. Major League Baseball is doing a lot of this, and now college football is looking to do the same thing. Here it talks about the commissioners considering 4 changes to shorten the games. And the 2 that I think nobody's going to have even any problem with at all is the prohibiting consecutive timeouts or icing kickers. Everybody gets annoyed by that. The second one is no longer extending a first or third quarter for an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive penalty. I don't think anybody cares about that at all. They'll be glad to those first 2 will probably get done for sure, but that's not enough to save enough time of what they're trying to do. The third proposal is the clock continuing to run after an offense gains a first down, except inside 2.5 minutes. I've actually never really understood why you would automatically stop the clock on a first down. I guess that was so you'd give the referees time to move the chains and all that. That's what I'm assuming they're trying to do back in the day when that was a big deal. But I don't think that's as big an issue anymore, and the NFL doesn't do that. So I don't know that anybody's going to have an exception to that either. I think that'll probably get passed. The big issue is this business of the clock continuing to run with an incomplete pass once the ball is spotted for play, etc. I don't think that'll get passed. It says a lot of the commissioners say many offices involved in the process expect at least a portion of the proposals to pass, something that didn't happen last year. And a lot of these rules changes would bring college football in line with the NFL's own playing rules. And again, they would just want to shorten the game. They're claiming that they want less plays so that maybe there'd be less injuries. And there may be some truth to that because they are extending seasons with the playoff and all of that. And they actually did some studies on it. It said a running clock after a first down would eliminate about 7 to 9 plays per game. A running clock after an incomplete pass could eliminate more than twice that number. And if they did the last two, which is running the clock after a first down and running the clock after an incomplete pass, they are concerned that it would force everybody to go into super turbo, which the Vols already do. And that might heighten the risk of injury. So I doubt they'll do the fourth one. They might do the first down one, though. And here you can see the average football game last season was 3 hours and 21 minutes. Here's what it's been the last 5 years, anywhere from 3 hours and 16 minutes to 3 hours and 21 minutes. And the NFL is usually 3 hours and 10 minutes, but understand halftime is longer in college football because you have the bands, and they don't have bands in the NFL. So that's a big part of it. But a lot of games go longer than that. It seems like all the Tennessee games have gone long because, look, you've got a lot of eyeballs on those games, and they want as many commercial timeouts as they can get. And that's a part of this as well, is they want to keep the commercials, but they want to shorten the game so that you don't have the overlap and you've got one game going on and it's exciting and then you miss part of the other and they have to put it on ESPN2 or whatever. So I think they're going to do some of this. Like I say, probably the first three will get done. The last one, I highly doubt it. Here it talks about the number of plays. The NFL averages 155 plays, whereas in college it's 180. And it says the NFL is more efficient offensively, which helps the game length and pace of play. And basically, there's not as many incomplete passes in the NFL because the quarterbacks are better and the wide receivers are better. Also, of course, like I said, the half times are 12 minutes in the NFL and 20 in college. And then the replay system is a little bit more streamlined in the NFL as opposed to college. So I wasn't real fired up about this at first because, look, college football is awesome. It's absolutely the best sport there is. That's 3 hours of just pure fun. Everybody loves it. Everybody looks forward to it. I don't want to shorten it, but I can understand, given the circumstances and that there's going to be more games, that they'll probably need to do something. And they're certainly not going to get rid of commercials or get rid of the bands. That's not going to happen. So I've gone from being like this about it.
How about no, Scott, okay?
To being a little bit more open. And like I said, look, there's always going to be changes to speed up the game. And you're seeing that with Major League Baseball. Now they've got the hitters on a clock and also the pitchers on a clock. And it'll probably get those games shortened quite a bit. And that's going to make Major League Baseball a lot more fun to watch because that him and Hahn up on the mound that the pitchers do, and then the batters are out there doing all the crap with their gloves and all that. Nobody wants to see that. Just get up there and hit the ball. So anyway, I think we're probably going to see some of this happen. All right, folks, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's be able to continue to cover the Vols, SEC, and all these goings-ons. I never know if that's right. Anyway, if you have not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that button right there. Costs you nothing. Helps me out. I would appreciate it. And right over here, my most recent video is available, and it seems to be pretty popular. Be sure to check that out. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk J.